regret. And so many moments passed me by that I could and should have reached out. I wish I'd known better then. I'd say all the right words so we could be happy again. All I am hoping.
Hello there. Welcome to Living Happily with Lori, and as well as Reading with Lori. Tonight we are on night 3, and we are on the Blue Book, which is it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. So this story is the best Christmas turkey that never was. And the caption here says, open your presents at Christmas time, but be thankful year-round for the gifts you receive, by Lorinda Ruth Lowen. I'm just hopping right into it. So, here we go. We were approaching our first Christmas in Maine, and I was determined to make it spectacular. My 9-year-old daughter, Lily, and 7-year-old son, Jasper, decorated our tower ring evergreen. My husband strung sparkly white lights. I had been sneaking the kids' presents in for weeks, and I couldn't wait to wrap them. Relatives were coming to town, and packages arrived almost daily. I was certain we could even check a white Christmas off of our Christmas list. Since the prediction was for 8 to 10 inches of snow on Christmas Day. I love this time of year. The beauty and the lights, the carols sung in high voices, the cozy warmth inside, all the anticipation. And the holiday food. I covered entire pages with grocery store lists for our menus: homemade cannoli from scratch, hot chocolate, warm and gooey cinnamon rolls, pavlovas with lemon curd, bourbon cocktails, hearty red wines, and lots of champagne. I planned our menus weeks ahead of time. I planned when I should have been writing. I planned in my dreams. Christmas was the most important. Should I make an egg casserole the night before so we could just pop it in the oven in the morning? Would turkey breast be perfect for Christmas dinner? Should we try a new citrus rum punch? For me, the magic in this season was feeding people I loved. My daughter and I had agreed we'd make a turkey breast and mashed potatoes. She loved to make dinner, buttery potatoes, and we all drooled over the leftover turkey sandwiches. As Christmas Day approached and the news stations predicted a blizzard, everyone said, "Be prepared!" And I was nothing if not prepared. I planned for deliciousness. I planned for yummy leftovers, game playing, cocktail drinking, and napping. Holiday comfort at its finest. A week before Christmas, we learned that a young single mom we knew and her 3 little boys were struggling financially. "Christmas is hard when I can't pay my bills," the mom said to me one day. That night I didn't dream about which kind of roast to cook, but rather a home with no tree or presents to wrap. I pictured not being able to give gifts to my kids. I imagined the mailman skipping our house and no Santa in sight. There was no fresh mandarins or charcuterie platters. I have no clue what that word is. Charcuterie, I don't know. No cookies shaped like candy canes, only an empty refrigerator, an empty dinner table, and hungry tummies. The next day, I said to my husband, I think we should shop for this family for Christmas. If it's okay with the mom. I know it might be difficult for our kids because they wouldn't be buying anything for themselves, but I think we should do this." He agreed immediately, so off to Target we flew. We filled the cart with toys for each boy, new Star Wars t-shirts and winter hats, fun snacks, cereal, milk, bread, and vegetables. I even picked out an easy option for them for dinner, a 3-pound turkey breast that could go directly from freezer to oven and cook in its bag. Super easy, super delicious, and warm and comforting for all those bellies. My husband and I loaded up the car and delivered the gifts to the mom a few days before Christmas while the kids were at school. When we left her dilapidated, subsidized housing unit, it was all I could do to keep my tears from the car flooding the car due to the absolute squealer the family lived in. I realized in that moment how much I took for granted. When Christmas Day arrived, as we opened our presents and drank hot tea, we were pummeled with more than 14 inches of snow. It was a beautiful white Christmas indeed. Late in the afternoon, as I poked around in the fridge to get our turkey breast so I could prep it, my heart fell. There on the bottom shelf wasn't our 8-pound turkey breast, but the 3-pound one I had intended to give the other family. I was so mad at myself. I had unintentionally given her the large in my hands. This freezer to oven magic had been thawing in my fridge for at least 4 days because I had stupidly swapped them. All my careful, delicious planning for the perfect Christmas dinner was for nothing. I looked out at the glittering snow, the magic white blanket, and I talked myself down from the ledge. It's just a smaller thawed turkey breast that's easy to cook, so let's do this. I gave myself a pep talk, but honestly, I was still angry and disappointed. It was the part of Christmas I looked forward to the most, and I had ruined it. No big, delicious turkey breast for us. No leftover turkey sandwiches slathered with mayo and seasoned salt. I crankily cut the turkey out of the bag it was supposed to cook in, placed it over some carrots and onions in my glass baking dish, slathered it with butter, and put it in the oven. About 20 minutes into bacon, I opened the oven and added white wine to keep the turkey juicy. As I poured the cold wine, the glass dish exploded in the oven into millions of shreds, all over the turkey, the oven, and the floor. "Oh my God!" I screamed and jumped back. My dad and my husband heard the crash and the swearing, ran into the kitchen. "It exploded," I said, still staring at the mess. Suddenly, like popping a balloon, all my anger and disappointment drained out of me too. "I guess we're not meant to have turkey for dinner tonight," I sighed. "Nope, I guess not," my husband said. They helped me clean up the mess, and we threw together a quick version of chicken salted. What the hell kind of word is this? Saltimbocca. With a few leftover chicken breasts I quickly thawed, and along with my daughter's mashed potatoes, it was delicious. The truth was, while we didn't have the best turkey breast ever, we did not want for anything. We had a scrumptious meal, and we were all safe and warm together. Most importantly, my children had a chance to do something precious for other children. As I sat down at the table, I was truly thankful for so much. My healthy kids, the wonderful, generous people in my life, financial stability, and a dinner table full of food. Even if it wasn't exactly the meal I had planned, And when I remember my favorite holiday meals, I will always remember this one, and the best Christmas turkey that never was, by Sarah Olin. Well, there you have it. There's the first one. I am only going to do 2 tonight, so I will read the next one, which is called A Light in Darkness. I hope you enjoyed the first one. And the little caption says, happiness can be found in the darkest of times, if only one remembers to turn on the light. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter, and Prisoner of Azkaban. Is that right?
Azkaban.
Azkaban. So my son's on the side. I'm looking at him and asking. So, do you have your coffee? I'm gonna take a break yet. Do you have your drink? I've got my. All right. Let's move on. Azkaban. That's what it is. Azkaban. Okay. All right. Everyone, it's time to do St Lucia. 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 I have heard this announcement nearly every year of my life on December 23rd. It's usually declared by one of my aunts during this annual family Christmas. Party at my grandmother's that was happened every year for as long as I can remember. To me, the Santa Lucia professional is the ultimate and most enduring expression of the holiday spirit. Growing up in Southern California, my Christmases were never really like the ones on the greeting cards or in Thomas Kincaid paintings. Christmas meant palm trees, sunny skies, and balmy 70 degrees most years. But Santa Lucia, I hope I'm saying that right, was different. It brought us the magic of dark winter night. I never knew, but always imagined. For those unfamiliar, Santa Lucia is a Scandinavian tradition. My grandfather's family immigrated from Sweden and brought it with them, and we can thank the American Girl Doll Company for bringing it into popular culture with the story of Christian Larson. The traditional tale goes something like this. Lucia was an early Christian martyr who delivered food to oppressed and starving believers forced to live in the catacombs. Legend says she wore a wreath of candles on her head to light the way through the dark, and eventually she was made a saint for the sacrifice she made for those driven underground. St. Lucia's Day traditionally is celebrated on the shortest day of the year. Santa Lucia professionals in Scandinavia feature young women in white dresses, red sashes, and the wreaths of holly and candles on their heads. Attendants carry candles while the person representing St. Lucia leads fellow participants in the darkness and brings trays of cookies in saffron buns to the congregations and families that gather to remember the special role she played. In our family, after dinner was over and the sun had set, my aunts would corral the young girls in the family to the back of the bedroom of my grandmother's house and open up the cedars chest. There we would find long white dresses, red sashes, candles, and a wreath with electric candles. We altered who got to lead the professional each year, handing out desserts to aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents. As the older cousins grew up, younger ones took their place. Eventually, the older cousins had daughters who took part, so the tradition lives on with each and every family Christmas party. One Christmas a few years ago, I was seated on my grandmother's couch waiting for Santa Lucia to begin. As the lights throughout the house were turned off, I reflected on my year. It had been difficult, and I found myself thinking about all the things that had gone wrong. The Christmas season's former joys seemed empty and light, and the reality of life, with all of its setbacks, complications, and obstacles, my mind turned to the legend of St Lucia. I considered the early Scandinavians searching for meaning in a world full of both personal and physical darkness. No wonder they created the festival of lights surrounding the ancient Lucia. Even her name's origins signify light. I wondered if those early Christians, too, felt the unsettling squeeze of despair in. I found myself thinking about all the things that had gone wrong. The Christmas season's former joys seemed empty in light of the reality of life, with all the setbacks, complications, and obstacles. My mind turned to the legend of St Lucia. I considered the early Scandinavians searching for meaning in a world full of both personal and physical darkness. No wonder they created a festival of lights surrounding the ancient Lucia. Even her name's origins signify light. I wonder if those early Christians too felt the unsettling squeeze of despair in the darkness those many years ago. I sank further into my unhappy thoughts. Then someone started humming Silent Night. Someone else started singing the words. Within, I felt something loosen in my chest, something that had been tightening and hurting me through the months of depression. I had barely dared to sing along as my eyes watered instead. I pictured the joyous images of this traditional Christmas song, and contemplated the alleluias of heavenly beings, the lights of pure love, radiant beams, and dawns of redeeming grace. As soon as the song was over, the traditional chorus, heralding the energy of Santa Lucia, started up from someone's phone. In came the happy faces of my younger sisters and cousins, children in a line, dressed in familiar white dresses and red silk sashes, holding candles. They made their way around the room. Santa Lucia offered sweets as she always did, but the procession had never looked so beautiful as it did now. I thought about those white dresses representing the pure and unadulterated love of God, and the look at the red sashes representing the blood of the charitable sacrifice. I realized that what made the moment so perfect was the light that allowed me to make those connections and to see those symbols of the holiday, literally and figuratively. In that brief moment, I understood what ancient Christians felt, hiding away in the catacombs, waiting for relief brought by a young girl with a wreath of candles to light the way. I understood what beleaguered Scandinavians, perhaps my own ancestors, felt during short, cold days and nights of interminable darkness. I understood the incessory peace brought by St Lucia, who faced a world more dangerous, more painful than my own. The whole event lasted no longer than 10 minutes, but it felt like hours worth of change that had wrought upon me. The procession circled the room twice, then slowly shuffled out, led by a glow of candles and the promise of redemption from the soul's dark winter night. By Emily Olson Shipley. And there we go. And what did you think of those two? I thought that was pretty good. Some hit more than others, from what I'm learning. This will be 3, 6. These will be 8 stories in the last 3 days. And I think some of them, like I said, yeah, they hit home more than others. But I will be reading from the Green Book tomorrow. And we will read 3 stories in that one. Just tonight, my night's been a little bit off. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm grateful to be sharing these stories with you. And I hope that you come back again. Let me know in the comments what you feel about these stories. And yeah, I'm gonna sign off with I hope you have a great night, and always allow your spirit to be the warrior within. Always be yourself, and always have fun. And don't forget, sit and watch your Christmas tree lights. It is pretty humbling to sit there, and the thoughts that come through your mind is pretty spectacular if you allow yourself to let go. You can have some really amazing and humbling feelings. So we'll see you tomorrow night. Laters.
But he's nowhere inside, and all of the
I got my
presents
stuff.
are still
They
by
never
the
start.
tree.
What's wrong?
They don't mean a
Delivery
thing till
stuff.
it's
They
here
don't
with
start.
me. If you know where it is, please give
It's
it
so
a
good.
ride. And I will wait here by the candlelight.
Yes,
His love
it was planned for formal, but it was beautiful. Oh, sorry. It wasn't planned for formal, but it was beautiful.